Hello, I'm Mekel Rogers, and I am the composer of Union March. Union March is a piece that I wrote to basically have the ability for a really young band to play in the march style and learn the basics of a march, but not have to worry about a lot of technical demands. So this is perfect for a nice young band that wants to perform at a contest event that requires a march, or just as a concert opener, you know. And Union March, I've got my score right here, so I'm just going to go through the piece a little bit and give you some tips and suggestions on how to make it the best performance you possibly can. March tempo is generally accepted as 120, so you can set your metronome there. You can take it a little faster if you want to. I've heard it done well a little bit faster. Sometimes I myself take it faster when I do the piece. So I wouldn't go too much slower than 120 though. You want to maintain the integrity of the march by taking at least a 120 tempo. Okay. You'll notice that the first four measures of the piece, they're kind of an introduction, and this is part of a march. Is usually most marches will have a introduction of some kind, and this particular one is 4 measures long in 2/4 time. So notice that you're in 2/4 time, meaning 2 beats to a measure. Okay, so the introduction is also marked forte. Okay, so you want a nice big sound, not ugly, never ugly, but boom, bum, 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 bum. Then you'll notice that at the end of the 4th measure, it goes to a mezzo forte. Okay, so make sure you don't just keep charging into forte territory. You make a slight dynamic difference. Okay, it isn't a big difference, but you need to make a difference, right? Notice that also your 8th notes should be played separated or short. Okay, don't go da 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 da. Okay, you want to get a good march style. You want to have this really nice separated light 8th note sound. Bum 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 bum. Okay. Notice also the first note of measure 4 is marked staccato for all of the wind instruments. Okay, so bum 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 bum. Make sure that when you play a staccato note, though, that you don't make it a grunt. You don't want to go da 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 right? Okay, make sure that it actually does have a good resonance to the note. Okay, that you can actually hear the pitch. Bum 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 bum, right? And the staccato makes it either separated or short, however you want to think about it. But you have to have an actual pitch there. Okay. Now the main melody comes in at the pickup to 5. Okay, and that's mainly covered by flute and trumpet with and the mallet instruments, with the clarinets kind of doing a harmony version of that. Okay, so what you've got is this melody going on here, bum 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 off. Now notice that all of those little phrases there end with a staccato, with a quarter note that is marked staccato and cut off on the downbeat. So you want to have 1-2- off on that. I'm talking about measure 11, for example. It's in the flute, oboe, clarinet, alto sax, trumpet, and horn. Okay, all of those you want to cut off on the downbeat of measure 12. Okay, then you'll have another one a little bit later on in measure 19 that you cut off on the downbeat of 20. Okay, another one in measure 27 cutting off on the downbeat of 28. It's important to get those cutoffs right because it makes the style much more appropriate, and it also locks in together with the rest of the ensemble. Okay, so pay close attention to those cutoffs. Okay, those releases there. All right, now while that's going on, we've got a bass line going on here starting at measure 5. Boom 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 rest boom boom boom, right? So it may seem a little bit dull, but it's actually not. It's got to be full of energy. You don't want to make the quarter notes really, really long. You don't want to go boom, 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 because it's not really a march then. It's kind of a sludge through mud, okay? So you want to not make the notes short, but you do want to separate them. Boom, 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 right? A little bit of space between those quarter notes. Then when you get to measure 11, boom, 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 that you want to make nice and short, okay? Nice and separated, boom, 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 right? Nice and light also, don't go right? So that right there is the key to playing any low brass part in an easier type march, is to separate your quarters and make your eighth notes like staccato notes, okay? Boom, 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 okay? But at the same time, don't grunt the notes out. Make sure you actually hear a full pitch, all right? Now, while all that's going on, there's another line that's happening in the alto saxophone and horn. Okay, this is at measure 5. They've got this bum, 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 off, okay? So you've got that kind of note that hangs there for a little bit, all right? Now, I will go ahead and tell you this. Sometimes it's difficult to tune an upper D, that fourth line D that's in the French horn part in measure 5. Now, if you've got some horns that can do it, that's great and it's wonderful. If it's a bit of a pain for the director to do that, go ahead and take it down an octave. The director can just take it down an octave and make it a D right below the bottom line, okay? Keep the alto sax where it is on the fourth space E for the alto sax part. But if you take the horn down an octave, it's okay. You'll still get the effect and you won't have the tuning nightmare as much. But if your horns can do it, go ahead. It sounds really good if it's up top. Okay, but feel free to take it that little bit down, that long note down an octave, okay? And then, you know, it'll help you lock it in a little bit more, okay? And percussion, you'll notice that we've got these crashes that are on the beat, okay, on each beat there. Notice that in measure 12, that crash right there has a rest after it, so you want to choke it afterwards. Crash, 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 choke, okay? And then crash, 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 you know, you're off to the next bit, okay? Don't just look at the cymbal part and think, oh, it's straight quarter notes, therefore I just play the same way all the time. No, you've got some crescendos in there, you've got some other dynamic changes you want to pay attention to, you've got some hits that you actually choke. So make sure that you do those nice crashes, but also make them consistent and musical as well. And your director will help you with that. Okay, and percussion, snare drum, on the accents there, this is at measure 5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and just accent on ba 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 ba. Then you've got measure 12, da 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 da. Okay, so just don't let that sneak up on you, da 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 da. All right, 1 and a 2 and. Okay, and that will give you an idea of the style that you want to do. Okay, now here's a really neat thing that you can do here. In measure 25, notice that the crescendo here, you've got a crescendo, you're already at mezzo forte, and you've got a crescendo up to forte. One of the best ways to make a crescendo is to take crescendos from piano to forte. Even if it's not piano before the crescendo, if you take the piano, if you take a crescendo and put a piano in front of it, and then crescendo up to forte, then what it does is it gives you a much better contrast, okay? And it's really, really effective. It prevents you from overblowing at the forte part, but it also makes it really, really nice because of the contrast, okay? So, bum, 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 right? That's really nice to do that. So experiment with bringing the band down before coming back up, okay? And that'll be a nice effect there for you, okay? And then of course the low brass, bum 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 bum. You want to make sure you bring that out, okay? Always bring out those eighth notes, okay? Then 29, bum bum bum, rest, bum bum bum. Accents. Accents mean emphasize and separate, okay? That doesn't mean play it short. You don't go right? But you do want some space there. Bum bum bum, and a little bit of emphasis, okay? Boom, 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 okay? And that will help with that, with the style there on those accents, so it makes it really, really nice, okay? Notice also there's an accidental in the alto sax and French horns in measure 26. It's in the clarinets too, okay? Not a big deal, Okay, easy accidental to do, but you don't want to miss it. Okay. 37. In 37, we get to what's called the dogfight section, okay, or the contrasting section in a march, and that's basically when you have, different sections kind of going back and forth with each other. It's a very simple, version of that, but it's a contrast, okay. So notice at 37, the rhythm is slightly different. Instead of 1, 2, and, it's now 2 and, or 1 and 2. So 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 1, bum 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 bum. Right. So you want to make sure you watch that rhythm. Another accidental there in the flute, you got that B natural, which remember a B natural for that low octave B natural is just finger C and add your thumb. Okay, that gives you the B natural. And trumpets, you've got that C sharp there. You're already on a D, so you just add the second finger, so you've got all 3 fingers down. And third valve slide, right? Remember, whenever you use the third valve on a trumpet, that low C sharp, that low D, you always have that third valve slide out a little bit so that it'll be in tune. Otherwise, it's going to be really sharp. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard this piece, and the C sharps and the Ds are just so sharp because they didn't use the third valve slide. Okay, so get that third valve slide out for those low Ds and C sharps. Okay, that's tip for the day there, okay? And then percussion. You guys take it for a couple of bars. Then the band comes back in. Bum 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 right? Or remember the snare drum is different a little bit each time you do that, so just watch out for the rhythm. And then we have a call and response. Bum bum bum, ding bum 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 bum. Not a big deal, right? Just make sure you count it. Notice that if you have a whole rest, it's only 2 beats long, right? Because it's in 2/4 time. Right. Now, guess what? When you get to 49, it's the same thing as the original melody back at measure 5, except for one thing. And that is, actually 2 things. One is that you're at forte instead of mezzo forte, okay? The other thing is there's a new melody that's going on, and it's in the alto sax and French horns, okay? And that's a nice little melody right there that you want to make sure that comes out. It's important to hear the main melody in the flute, oboe, trumpet, and bells. Bum, 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 okay? But there's the second melody going on here in the alto sax and horns. Bum, 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 bum. That's really important to hear, okay? So make sure that that comes through, okay? It wants to be heard equally with the trumpet, flute, bell melody, okay? And oboe, okay? And then in measure 61, same thing that you did before. You can start that one a little. It says mezzo forte, crescendo to forte, but you can experiment. Start it softer, and then crescendo it to forte, and you'll find it's a lot more effective, for the contrast. Same thing in measure 69, 70, 71. Okay, and then 73, bum, 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 right? Same as before with the accents separate. Okay. Bum, 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 off, bum. Now, let's talk about the last measure here. Okay, the last 2 measures, you either have bum, 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 okay, if you're a low instrument, okay, so you're going to have quarter notes that are separated, and then the last measure, you're going to have the first quarter note fairly short, not grunted. You don't want to go, right, but you want to have a nice boom, nice space, and then the second one is short but accented. Boom, right? But again, you don't want to go boom, 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 okay? No grunts, okay? Boom, 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 boom. A little bit of resonance to that note, which means a little bit of length to it so that you can actually hear the pitch, okay? A little bit of length to it, not a whole lot, okay? Because it is marked short and it's a staccato accent. But you want to make sure that it sounds like a pitch instead of a grunt, okay? And all the other instruments in the winds will have a half note tied to a quarter, then with the last note, which is called a stinger. The last note that just goes boom in a march, that's a stinger. And one of the main things that bands do is bands that just don't think about it or whatever tend to play the stinger too short. You know, they go ba off, and as a result, it gives an unsatisfying ending. And I think that if you put a little bit of length to it, not a lot, because you don't want it to go long, but just put a little bit of length to it so that you can get a nice sound at the very last note. Ba off, bum, and it sounds much more effective, okay? And that will help you, band director will help you with that as well, and getting the right, you know, length both before and on the note, right? So and the key to getting the attack right is to getting the cutoff correct as well. Ta off on one, and then the stinger, bum, okay? So that's something that you want to pay real close attention to, because that's the end of the piece, and you want to make sure that that's really, really effective. So hopefully that'll give you some tips, some performance tips. This is a really, really good piece to teach the basics of march style to a very young band, okay? And it sounds really nice when the march style is done well, okay? There are some recordings of this. There are recordings on my website, which is www.mekelrogers.com, and you can listen to full recordings for free. And you can also go to the FJH website, which is the publisher of the piece. You can also check on, you know, Pepper Music. They have recordings that you can listen to. And this one is actually on iTunes. There's a live recording from a band that played it at the Midwest Clinic in Chicago a couple years ago, and that CD got put on iTunes. So it's a 99-cent purchase, but feel free to get it. And it's a nice little performance of this work done live in a concert setting. So feel free to, you know, look up any of those recordings. If you have any other questions, you can always email me through the website, mekelrogers.com, and there's an email address there where you can just, you know, click on it and email me. And if you've got any questions or feedback, I'd love to hear from you. And I certainly thank you for listening, and best of luck on performing Union March with your band.